Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Oreo Express. Josh here. Hope you're having a fabulous Monday. It is Monday. Let's kick this week's butt. Let's keep going, guys. Keep up the fight. Thank you for tuning in. If you could do a huge favor, share this out, hit that like button. We would appreciate it, guys. We've got some more hot topics to talk about. I believe it was Austin, Texas. Some folks found some bombs in a Tesla showroom down there. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some of the congressional seats and what it looks like 6 years from now, 5 years from now, where blue states are losing population. They're also losing representation. Another reason why a lot of the blue states want illegals. Essentially with deportations, man, I could see how many we do here. Let me jump into the chat and say hello to a couple of you. Susan, hello. How are you doing? Skynet's in the house. Hello, Skynet. Jay keeps asking, what's up? We got Matt, First Amendment Media. Oh, no, he's warning us, guys. If you guys want to get out of chat now, he says Jalen will be here shortly, so you guys can go run and hide. Mom X Swift, you washed up De Niro. We're going to talk about De Niro, too, because he is a little washed up. His numbers from his new movie came out, and they have tanked. Pixie says round 2. That's right. Round 2, second show of the day. If you missed the first show, go back and watch it. We appreciate you guys watching the replay on all our shows. It helps us out tremendously. It helps out with the algorithm. See Deb V in the house. Thank you. Trina in the house. Matt says the left has lost their damn mind. Oh, you don't even know how bad the left has lost their mind. It's just insane what we are seeing, guys. I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. We have these activist judges, and we got to get a workaround to that, which I think they are doing. And once that clears the path, and I told you, that's the thing I'm worried about most. And the reason being, well, why are you worried about that? Quite frankly, I have family members. I know these illegal aliens that we are deporting are murderers and rapists. And I care about my family. It's why I fight for this country. I want those people out of this country. And when you have activist judges, it's very similar. You break a law, and Democrats, for the longest time, wanted these lawbreakers to we got to have manicures in there, very similar to what the environmentalists or the animal rights activists do in California. Like a chicken gets to get one massage a day. Cage got to be like 18 by 84 so it can exercise and strut and stuff, when all we're going to do is slaughter it and eat it. Again, I'm old school. I come from old school. I've watched them slaughtered. I've ate the slaughtered animals, and it's amazing. And then they wanted to be tough on crime when it came to J6. Lock them up for life. Execute them. They're terrorists. And looks like now we are back to nobody is a terrorist. Let everybody out of jail. We can't be tough on criminals. And it's just crazy. We got Karen in the house. Shared 3 sites and 2 friends. Mom X Swift, TJT1, Texas Bigfoot. Corn Dog, oh my gosh, Corn Dog, got to become a member. You're sticking out like a sore thumb. I love giving y'all a hard time, and thank you to everybody that's a member in the chat. You guys make everything possible. We appreciate you more than you know. Now, we touched on this in the first show, but I just wanted to kick off with something beautiful. Florida gas prices dropped to lows not seen in more than a year. Some are actually saying close to what we haven't seen in close to 3 years. Remember, under the Biden administration, they said, "Hey, we don't want to be energy independent. We want to rely on other countries." So It's happening, guys. I've noticed it here. I can find gas. Even with all the regulations and taxes here in California and all the craziness, I did spot gas at $3.99 the other day. If you paid cash, it was $4.09 if you used debit or credit. And then I think it was, if you were a Walmart member, it was like $3.87. $3.87 at the Walmart in Northeast Fresno. So check this out. I love Hakeem Jeffries. I love the party of DEI, the party of you got the job because of what you do in your bedroom or how you identify. Listen to what Hakeem Jeffries says right here.
Equity and inclusion phone.
Mr. Leader, just changing topics. Obviously, I'm sure you've heard the story by now. The editor-in-chief of The Atlantic says he was caught on this text chain signal chat with top Trump administration officials as they were discussing these airstrikes in Yemen. What is your reaction to that? And do you believe there should be a congressional investigation?
There should absolutely be a congressional investigation so that we can understand what happened, why did it happen, and how do we prevent this type of national security breach from ever happening again. This is reckless, irresponsible, and dangerous. Who are some of these people?
Listen.
That Donald Trump has put into the most sensitive national security positions in America? We were promised that Donald Trump was going to hire the very best. It's all phony. The attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion, phony. So it's never about hiring the best people.
The attacks on DEI were phony, huh? Listen to this.
As Democrats, we actually believe in merit.
Merit.
Merit that should be based on what you...
Even he choked on it. Watch his neck.
In merit.
He has to swallow.
Merit that should be based on what you know.
He couldn't even say it. He says Democrats do hiring and put people in places based on merit. That's funny. You remember the last Health and Human Services Secretary compared to this one? Yeah, it was a guy with a mental illness pretending to be a woman. This is just insane, guys. I love it. But again, Democrats, they're not doing too well. I think we might even have something else. Now, this isn't much politics, but we like to get into some other stuff. I guess there's a YouTuber. I've never heard of him. Again, I'm not big on YouTube or following people on social media that don't have to do with like politics and stuff. That's what I spend my time doing. I think y'all know. But this one, it says a YouTuber starts crying after being charged with attempted murder. Says he is innocent because he has a lot of YouTube subscribers. Watch this thing. Watch this guy.
That he's a public figure because of his nearly...
Now.
I have everything right here, and it's all been falsified.
If anyone dares try to test my mental competence, I will eviscerate every single person with my intelligence right now. And that's not being...
Hold on. I will eviscerate every single person with my intelligence right now. Who does this remind you of? I'm just going to wait. It might take a minute for the video to catch up. But who does this remind you of? This is insane. Let's see. Yes, Trina comes out with Pissant. Pissant, man, more intelligent. Didn't Pissant raise like 20 grand to hire some attorneys for his next court case? Then after he got the money, he literally said, I'm going to defend myself. How many times has he done that? That's crazy. Remember when Adderall did that? Breanne Chapman, the one that beats her child, she raised money to silence me. Said she was going to take me down. Remember that? That I've been doing this too long and she's going to take me down, so donate. Hashtag winning. Listen to the rest of this.
Egotistical.
Police paperwork says the pursuit started after Conover was going 55 in a 35. After 8 miles, Conover stopped and an officer attempted to de-escalate the situation, but Conover allegedly drove at him and hit him in the leg and then sped off for another 28 miles.
Our Father who art in heaven.
The paperwork says the officer was thrown 40 feet, suffering a leg injury. Conover is facing several charges, including attempted murder.
Mom, thank God, look at me.
Today in court, Conover was outspoken, claiming that he's a public figure because of his nearly 3 million subscribers on YouTube, and saying this was part of a, quote, police sting against him.
All right.
Okay, Eric.
All right.
They're here to help you.
The state asks that he remains in preventative detention.
The state's position is that when a law enforcement officer signals for you to pull over and stop, you should do so.
He has had a chance to review the police reports in this matter and denies these allegations. He does not agree with the reports as that they are stated.
The defense asked that he be released, saying he's not a threat to the public and has no criminal record. Police say he was arrested Friday night for a separate drunk driving charge, which Conover denies.
I've been sober from alcohol for 1,558 days, so to press me on a DUI, I'm a public figure.
The judge did hold Conover in preventative detention. He's due back in court next week for a probable cause hearing. In Conway, Kelly O'Brien, WMUR.
I just watched that this morning, and I was like, holy heck, that's a lot to take
It's
in
not.
right now.
1,400.
Take in. This was 1 month ago, it says. Let's see this. Come on.
144 days sober from alcohol today. Welcome to episode number 1 of my podcast, Building Legacy, episode 1.
So who knows? He wasn't, I don't know, never heard of him, don't know who he is, probably won't know who he is anymore. Somebody else
right
that
to do
you
that, in their
probably haven't
opinion.
seen in a while that's doing really bad. Rosie O'Donnell, she went on one of the late night talk shows. Where's she at? Ireland or something? She's overseas somewhere. I don't know. Listen to this. This woman, we've played some of her videos where she's just lost her damn mind. It's hard to feel sorry for people like this, but there is something seriously wrong. By the way, Texas Bigfoot, happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a Texas-style birthday. I know, sorry about RW showing up in the little tutu. I didn't arrange that, but that's just an RW thing. He loves you guys. So happy birthday, Texas Bigfoot. Appreciate you. Here we go. Let's listen to this.
You know, a lot of people did vote for him.
Yes.
Do you accept their right to do that and their opinion of him?
Their right to do that. I question why the first time in American history a president has won every swing state and is also.
Oh, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. People like you. People like you. That's why for the first time in history, a president has won every swing state. That's historic, isn't it, Rosie? That's really historic. And I'll tell you why. The price of groceries. That's not it. The invasion at the southern border. A lot of people seen that. A lot of people turned on the news and there was a murder, even though it was only covered for like 3 seconds. A lot of our women and children were being raped and murdered. Not just that. This push, this ideological push of trans, worship the trans, put the men in girls' restrooms, put the men on girls' teams. America does not want that. They realize it, and there's a big Christian base that knows it's satanic and evil. That's why. But just first time in history. Listen to this. I love hearing that.
On every swing state and is also best friends, and his largest donor was a man who owns and runs the internet. So I would hope that that would be investigated and that we would see whether or not it was an anomaly or something else that happened on election night in America when Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums with people who supported her.
Filling up stadiums with people who supported her. Holy cow. They were bringing people like Beyonce. They were paying millions of dollars to influencers to falsely promote. They even admitted themselves, one of her own campaign staff, that they were trailing the entire time in the polls. This is beyond Trump derangement syndrome, folks. This is bad. I'm so happy she's out of the United States along with Ellen, but listen to that shit. So here, this is what you call, if you guys don't know, we covered it back in the day, but it's called Blue Anon. So Blue Anon conspiracy theorist.
Stadiums with people who supported her, and Donald Trump was not able to do that. So it's curious to me. And as an American and a believer in democracy, I would hope that we would be able to look at all of the reasons why this happened.
Oh my gosh, we could go through a list of them. Actually, if she would just watch the show, every day I cover the list of reasons why this happened. It's pretty simple, Rosie. And we got Jan Garner. Thanks for your prayers. We close on April 24th. Thanks, Josh, for everything you do and appreciate you. Such great news from Jan Garner. I thought I seen her driving through the neighborhood on Sunday. She's looking for a house in Seatown in California. Just kidding. But man, now the fun begins, Jan. Now the fun begins. Finding a new place and moving on. Congrats. That's great news. Well deserved. What else do we got coming up? Let's check it out. Oh my God. Listen to this. I love this. These people are beyond woke. Listen to this. As many Americans, and we covered it earlier. Damn, what state was it now? Not Kentucky. Montana, maybe? That did pass voter ID. Anyways, it's not important here or there, but listen to this.
Okay, so like what?
Well, we could eliminate all voter registration laws. See, when Democrats get in charge, we try to protect voting rights. We don't make voting easier. Now, I'm all for voter eligibility requirements. We might disagree about what those requirements should be, but I'm going to say that there should be an age limit to vote. I might say.
Listen to this. They know they are done as a Democrat Party. They know. You know what the eligibility requirements are? That you are a U.S. citizen, you have a valid, up-to-date, current photo ID, and you can get your ass out there and actually do it.
16, you might say 18, but I'm not going to say 8, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to agree that there should be voter eligibility requirements. But once you're eligible, why do you have to pre-register? Why is that even a thing? It wasn't a thing in this country at the founding. We didn't have voter pre-registration in 1787. We didn't have voter pre-registration in 1821. We only started having voter registration, generally speaking, after the Civil War. Why do you think that is? It's because a bunch of freed African slaves were migrating up north, and all of a sudden New York was like, we need some registration up in here, right? A bunch of immigrants from Europe, mainly Ireland and Italy, were coming to New York. People were like, oh, we need some registration in here. If you're eligible to vote, you should be automatically registered to vote, and that is how they do it everywhere else but us. Everywhere else but us either has automatic registration or some other form of forced registration for everybody so that you don't have this disconnect.
Let me ask you a serious question. I've been a registered voter since I was 18. Why does this person, and again, you would call him a racist if he was white, because what he's insinuating is these black people aren't just, they're not, and we've heard this argument before, they're not capable of registering to vote. They're not capable of getting an ID and showing an ID. They're supposed to be productive members of society, not leeching off the government, right? But they don't have an ID? I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous.
Between eligible voters and registered voters. That's the first law in the book that we could change. And it's to see how that's different than just saying, we have to protect voting rights. No. We don't have to protect voting rights. We have to expand voting rights so that the 90 million people that sat on the couch and sat out this last election between democracy and fascism, so that maybe they have a little bit of an easier time to get up off the couch.
Bad law, bill of wrongs. This is, it's just crazy. Those are the people that want career criminals out of jail. I mean, these people are just out of their mind. Now, I love this. Because sometimes I've noticed this, and it is getting back up there again. For the last like 6 months before the election, it was hard to find somebody triggered in a MAGA hat or with my clothes on. You would get it once in a while, and you could tell like the face people make when they look at you, and it's almost like that just died down because they're like, shoot, Trump's better than the guy in the office or the lady that just pulled a coup on him. I want you to listen to this guy, and literally, the left is sharing this video like it's a win. If I wear a red hat to a resort and you have to pull out your phone and do a selfie video because you're that triggered by it, that's a win for me, pal. That's a win for me. Listen to this.
Have a day. So I'm in Cancun, Mexico. You know, you go politics just to have a relaxing vacation. But nope. It's got to be that one lady in the pool with a fucking MAGA hat. You know? But it makes you think. It makes you think, like, can you imagine the spit, piss, and shit in this woman's food? Can you just imagine the amount of feces that is involved in making her dinner here in Mexico? Thinking that it's okay to wear that fucking disgusting hat.
First off, I just find it amazing because while she's enjoying a relaxing time, this guy is triggered. This is Trump derangement syndrome 101. You can't, I don't know if there's a cure for this mental illness. They're going to hand them like werewolves, guys. Take a listen.
In a country that all you do is talk shit about, it's simply amazing. It really is. Anyway, I hope from the bottom of my heart that everything that she eats is loaded with piss, shit, and spit. I don't know. That's just me. But anyway.
Miserable, huh? Could you imagine? Again, these are the people destroying Teslas. These are the people vandalizing. These are the people that want open borders. And he would be actually really surprised if been to Mexico plenty of times wearing a MAGA hat. They don't feel there's a lot of people in Mexico that hate the invasion from Venezuelans and everything else. Now they do keep them out of the tourist places like Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo San Lucas. They do keep them out of there. But many of those people feel the same way that Americans do. They want their freedoms. They want to be able to live their life without an invasion going on. And you'd be surprised. Actually, you go look yourself. Go look at spring break videos. It's going on right now, and you will see a lot of college students with that MAGA hat on, and it's beautiful. So I feel bad for this guy. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Check this out. Libs of TikTok shared this. This nurse listen to this. This nurse referred to a male pedo patient who thinks he's a woman as a mister. He responded by yelling racial slurs at her. So the nurse is black, which used to give you all kind of credit. You were a protected class. You were somewhat privileged in the world of if you were on the leftist side, not if you were conservative. If you were a conservative black person, you were a Nazi. But again, a nurse referred to a male patient that pretends to be a woman as Mr. He started calling her racial names. It says, guess who the National Health Service is investigating and labeled a risk? You're right. Not the mentally ill dude. Not him. The black nurse. Take a listen.
Deliberately misgender. Yes, I'm still traumatized with the situation. The fact that I could be facing suspension, my career coming to an end simply because I refused to refer to this patient as a female, as a she or miss.
A convicted child sex offender.
Yes, on the medical record, this was a male patient under urology. On the bedside, it was just written his name, not miss or anything. So on the first glance, when I looked at him, I was like, wow. He was a very big man, very huge, about 6 foot tall. He literally stood up and began to throw racial slurs at me. and said, "Do not call me Mr. I'm a Miss. I'm a woman." When I came back the following shift, I was told you can't work anywhere else. From now on, you can't do bank shifts. You're restricted from doing anything from HR point of view because you have deliberately misgendered a patient. I was in shock.
That is just insane. It's happening all over the world. Once again, a pedophile, a child rapist that was born a male will always be a male, regardless of what drugs or what he cuts off. And look at who gets the punishment. It's crazy. There's a lot of those stories. A lot of them don't hit mainstream media. This was interesting. I read this, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in it, but 23andMe files Chapter 11 bankruptcy as co-founder and CEO Ann Wahiki resigns. Now, the reason why I brought this up is there's been some stories on 23andMe. Some people panic. I don't. But the reason why I said this is because California Attorney General, and we'll get into that after we show you this right here. This was an O'Keefe Media Group undercover video. It says Nate Johnson, a U.S. Treasury Department policy advisor, has exposed that 23andMe has been secretly sharing customer data with nearly every country. He claims a hidden clause in their contracts allows them to hand over user information to shareholders, all of whom are pharmaceutical companies. Listen to this.
Ministry of Defense of Russia, or like owned by China.
That's when 23andMe comes in, trying to figure out what all you are. I should do that.
You shouldn't do that, though. Do not give your information to. They sell it to other people.
Do they sell it to Russia?
They sell it to other. There's a clause in their contract that basically says, like, we can give your information to our shareholders so that they can do stuff. And all of their shareholders are like pharmaceutical companies. But some of those pharmaceutical companies are companies based in other countries, and those pharmaceutical companies in other countries are like the property of like the Ministry of Defense of Russia, or like owned by China.
So that was back then, and then Rob Bonta came out with this. California Attorney General warns 23andMe users to delete your data as company files bankruptcy. And again, he talks about California's privacy laws and somehow thinking that if you request them to delete it, that somebody else already doesn't have it. It's in another database. Again, these people are absolutely brilliant. We covered a little bit about Trump's meeting earlier today, but we didn't cover this one. And I want you to look at Elon Musk's hat and what he says right now, because again, these are why people are protesting against Elon. They want a 9-month-old to receive a $100,000 loan. That's just what they want. Listen, yes, 9-month-old receiving a $100,000 loan.
A clear case of fraud was with the Small Business Administration, where they were handing out loans, $330 million worth of loans to people under the age of 11. I think the youngest, Kelly, was a 9-month-old who got a $100,000 loan. That's a very precocious baby we're talking about here.
Well, we're tackling the fraud, waste, and abuse in the agency. We've seen, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud go unprosecuted. So we're taking that on. We have a zero tolerance policy for fraud, and we continue to crack down on it and make sure people are held accountable.
And you have a lot of that. You found far too much of it. It's a pure fraud. We like to use the words waste and abuse because they sort of sound good, but many of these things are pure fraud.
9-month-old, $100,000 loan. I wish I knew how to do it back then, boy. Woo! Be sitting on top of the Ritz-Carlton right now in our studio. But listen to what Attorney General Tom Van
We are hearing a lot
about
about
all this fraud that's going on, because we also have another clip here in a moment that talks about the fraud that it's so rampant. It's so common, guys. It's crazy. Take a listen to this.
As far as we are hearing a lot about fraud, waste, and abuse, a lot of waste and abuse, but there is a tremendous amount of fraud. And Elon, thank you for your partner. Team, you have uncovered so much fraud in our government, and we will prosecute you. We have an internal task force now working with every agency sitting here at this table, and if you've committed fraud, we're coming after you. Thank you, Elon, for that. On the violent crime level, thanks to President Trump's directive, we are seeking the death penalty again. So all of these horrible, violent criminals that you're hearing about around the country, they will face the death penalty federally within our country. And the drug dealers need to get out of here because we are coming after you. We're going to have 94 great U.S. attorneys around this country, and everyone will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
So I like what she says there about fraud. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings on Attorney General Pam Bondi right now. I would want to see more out of her as well, especially with the Epstein files. And I'm sorry, we had that little debate on here. Do you think anything's going to come out? I think a minimal amount's going to come out, which is really unfortunate. Let me show you this right here. Check this out. Check out this news program right here.
That abuse of the SNAP program is one of food stamps. This is one of about 80 retailers here in the Tampa Bay region to recently be permanently disqualified from the SNAP program for fraud or abuse. Today, a congressional committee heard from a team of experts who said that abuse of the SNAP program is widespread and nationwide. This food stamp bust happened in April. Owners of a small store hauled off in handcuffs, accused of hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraud. In this Largo case, an undercover cop caught a store owner willing to pay 50 cents on the dollar for an EBT card and PIN number. But it's not just a problem in Florida.
Fraud and poor management undermine public support for this program.
Ohio Auditor Dave Yost testified before the House Agricultural Committee today about food stamp fraud in his state.
We identified 36 instances. Where
So this is an older video here, but I just want to bring it up because this is very common, at least where I live in California. Selling your food stamps, people selling, well, I mean, it goes way beyond food stamps. But the black market here of the fraud, waste, and abuse that could be saved. You can go to some areas of town here in Fresno where if you look, I don't know how to say this, Craig, but if you look right, you could have someone offer you outside, hey man, you want to buy some food stamps? Almost like you want to buy some weed? You want to buy some food stamps? I'll give you $200 for $100. And people do it all day long. For my animal lovers out there, check this out right now. If you have a dog, we've all been there. Our pup goes from full of energy to sick and miserable in an instant. And that's the worst times. Then we're calling vets in the middle of the night or on a weekend trying to find a clinic that will take us. It's a terrible way to manage your dog's health, not to mention your stress levels and your monthly budget. That's why people are getting the Pet Emergency Kit by Positive. It contains critical medications and supplies that can not only keep you out of the veterinary office, but may even save your dog lives. Their kits contain critical medications like activated charcoal, septic powder, and more. It might save your dog's life. Head over to positive.com. That's PAWSITIVE.com. Use promo code STUDIO and get 15% off your pet emergency kit. So go check that out, guys, at positive.com. PAW, positive. All right, what else do we have? We got more. How many remember this? We're going to talk about...
You washed up. You washed up.
I want to refresh this one. I love this one every time I watch it. Oh, man, I don't know who was triggered. This guy or the reporters? What? Oh, I guess I didn't save it. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Robert De Niro, a paid sellout for the DNC. A paid sellout to the DNC, Robert De Niro. A paid sellout. A paid sellout. Are you on Epstein's client list? Are you on Epstein's client list?
Fuck you! You think by yelling and intimidating. You think by yelling and intimidating. You're not going to intimidate. That's what Trump does, to try to intimidate. We are going to fight back.
You're washed up. You're washed up. You're washed up.
We're trying to be gentlemen in this world.
You're washed up.
You are gangsters.
You're washed up.
You are gangsters.
You're washed up.
You fucking
Robert De Niro, a paid sellout for the...
You're washed up, buddy. You're washed up. And the reason why that's so funny right now, hold on, I think we got something in the chat. Jaylan, this girl didn't let her membership lax, but Matt did. Is he as loyal? Oh, man, you know what, Jaylan? You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do something. A little additive or something in his lunch. Take him out. Take him out. That's just unacceptable. Old Uncle Bill says, I never get tired of seeing that. Either do I. And the reason why we're playing this is Robert De Niro had a new movie come out. And this is the only, I've seen some headlines, and it says Robert De Niro's Mafia movie has one of the most disastrous box office debuts of 2025. Hold on, let's say that again. One of the most disastrous box office debuts of 2025, folks. Again, the guy's like this tall right here, and that's when he's wearing platforms. He's no gangster. He's a sellout DNC fake actor. I don't know anybody that back in the day, De Niro used to be pretty popular. People would talk about him when you talked about movies. Not anymore. They know he's a sellout scumbag. Check this out. We got some Jussie Smollett on aisle 7, please. That's what it looks like we have here. LaTarsha Brown, a city employee in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and school board member at Allentown School District, was charged with making a false report and tampering with evidence after she reported that she found a noose on her desk at City Hall in January. She was reportedly not cooperative during the investigation, and DNA sampled showed only her DNA was on the noose. How many people remember this? This was after, this is what, again, another fake hoax.
Made their voices heard.
This was after she said there was a hate crime against her. Watch.
Black lives are under attack. What do we do?
A call for action and fight for change.
We will not be silenced.
Community members and leaders made their voices heard in front of Allentown City Hall Monday afternoon.
Just to think that people have to go to work in fear for their lives.
Since Friday, Allentown police continue to investigate an item resembling a noose found on a city employee's desk.
This egregious act is not just an affront to one individual, but it is an attack on the entire community.
Several spoke during a rally, calling for transparency, prevention, and an immediate federal investigation among a list of demands. This incident, community members note, is not the first racial discrimination issue City Hall has dealt with. Josie Lopez is a close friend of the victim.
They're always a community leader, always pushing for equality. They might be bruised right now, but they are not broken.
The victim is not being named due to safety concerns.
Our colleague was threatened. This was an act of terror.
Act of terror, huh? Well, let's see what the police had to say about it now that the investigations ran its course. I hope y'all ready.
Noose investigation. I want to take Good afternoon. My name is Charles Roca. I'm the Chief of Police of Allentown. I'm joined at the podium by Captain Sivitz and Detective Harold Bonser of our Criminal Investigations Division. The purpose of this press conference is to provide an update regarding the noose investigation. I want to take a moment to thank the following agencies who assisted in this case: Lehigh County District Attorney's Office, the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The Allentown Police Department conducted a thorough investigation, including interviews with persons, analysis of evidence, and consultation with the District Attorney's Office of Lehigh County. As a result of the subsequent investigation, LaTarsha Brown was charged with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, a misdemeanor of the second degree, and false reports to law enforcement, a misdemeanor of the third degree. As in every criminal case, the fact that a warrant has been issued or a complaint has been filed is merely an accusation. The defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty in a court of law. I'm now going to ask Captain Milkovich to provide a summation of this investigation.
Good afternoon, everybody. Captain Milkovich, Criminal Investigations Division. On January 10, 2025, at approximately 7:11 a.m., Allentown City employee LaTarsha Brown arrived at her office on the third floor of City Hall. At approximately 7:38 a.m., Ms. Brown notified the Allentown Police Department that she discovered what she believed to be a noose on her desk upon arriving at work. Officers assigned to the Community Outreach Unit, Crime Scene Identification Unit, and Criminal Investigations Unit responded, initiating a criminal investigation to identify the individual responsible for placing the noose on Ms. Brown's desk. During the investigation, video surveillance and building access control records were reviewed to identify city employees present on the third floor of City Hall between the time Ms. Brown left for work on the afternoon of January 9, 2025, and her arrival on the morning of January 10th. Those employees were interviewed. Each was asked if they would provide a buccal swab for DNA testing if needed. Every employee agreed, except for Ms. Brown. Initially cooperative, Ms. Brown later requested that the investigation be discontinued. The noose was submitted to the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab for DNA testing on January 14, 2025. On January 24, 2025, a search warrant was approved by the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office for Ms. Brown's DNA, and a DNA sample was obtained that same day. On January 27, 2025, Ms. Brown's buccal swab was submitted to the Bethlehem Regional Crime Lab of the Pennsylvania State Police for comparison with DNA profiles recovered from the noose. On March 10, 2025, the Forensic DNA Division of the Pennsylvania State Police issued a written report indicating that Ms. Brown's DNA matched the DNA profile obtained from the swabs of both the outer surface and inner knotted portion of the noose after it was taken apart. No other person's DNA profiles found on the evidentiary items involved in this investigation. As a result of this investigation earlier today, Detective Harold Bonds of the Allentown Police Department filed charges against LaTarsha Brown at District Court 31-2-01 for the criminal offenses outlined earlier by Chief Roca. Thank you.
Oh man, see, and again, when you falsify an accusation of rape or whatever you do, a hate crime, again, there's not it's crazy. They can't find racism anywhere, so they have to create it. That's how bad it is. But you know what? Whatever someone would have been charged with, let's just say she had lied and she said she saw John put it down, and John, oh my God, John pleads innocent but gets convicted. Whatever crime and whatever time that he was supposed to serve is the same time that she needs to serve. We need to put that in law because we have a lot of this. This happens all the time where people lie, not always a hate crime, but people lie and accuse somebody else of something that never happens. But in this one, that was amazing. She wanted the investigation to end. As soon as she was asked for her DNA, she's like, nah, you know what? Just discontinue this investigation. Oh, man. And to think about it, think about that for a second. Not only was she an city employee at Allentown, PA, but she was also a school board member. I wonder if she's smiling like that right now. I wonder, I don't care. Again, if it's just a slap on the wrist, it is a disservice to all the community members and taxpayers of Allentown. Bottom line. And this is what they want, the racial divide. It's Democrats that want the racial divide. Where do you hear about this happening with Republicans? You don't. Just absolutely insane. First Amendment media said, Josh, remember, she came from my rib and ate the apple. That's what got us into this mess. You know what? Women are to blame for a lot, Matt. I would have to agree with you, but I don't know. You know what? Women that keep their membership to the Oreo Express are more important than the rib bearer. Only under these circumstances. Man, Bubba Wallace. Someone mentioned Bubba Wallace. That's right. The failed NASCAR driver, Bubba Wallace. There was a noose in my pit stall or my pit garage. That thing had been, there wasn't a no noose. It was to literally pull down the garage door or the doors, the slide down doors. What? We just, again, Bubba Wallace shouldn't even have been allowed to race anymore. That's kind of the people that have destroyed NASCAR. Check this out. New. We'll get into it and we'll talk about it when it happens. But right now, 2 California bills that would ban transgender athletes from girls and women's sports will be heard in the assembly next week. Now, Democrats won't move this forward. It says Governor Newsom's office won't comment. Comes week after he said on his podcast that the issue is deeply unfair. If you remember when he was on the podcast with Charlie Kirk, with his moderate stance all of a sudden because he wants to be president, he stated that it is unfair to have males in female sports. He won't comment now. He received a lot of backlash, especially from the California representatives that have destroyed California. You know, they love when you have to drive around homeless in the middle of the streets or drive on your way home to like 7 motorhomes that's been sitting on the side of the road for 7 months. That's Democrats for you. They have destroyed this country and they are continuing to do so. Check this out. Today, Austin, Texas police found bombs in a Tesla showroom. The incendiary devices were taken into police custody with the help of their bomb squad. This is, let's see, this is from the dailymail.com. Again, multiple bombs found inside Tesla showroom in Texas. Well, guys, again, they're going to do everything. They want to kill people. We played in the first show. If you missed it, go back and listen to the gentleman that was out in, was it Denver for the Bernie AOC? And we played his interviews with people, and they were calling for murder. They were calling for these people to be hung, all because they're catching fraud, waste, and abuse at our federal government. You can't make this up. They're not cutting Social Security. They're not cutting Medicaid. They're not cutting any of that. The only people right now that we think that are cutting that is one we know of is Kathy Hochul in New York, kicking over 100,000 people off their medical services, disabled people, and Governor Gavin Newsom, because he spent $9.5 trillion with AT on illegal aliens here in the state of California. And now he's begging the legislator because Medicare or Medi-Cal, that's what they call Medicaid here, Medi-Cal has no money left to pay its bills. Last week, he got $3.44 billion just so Medicaid could pay its money, and now is asking for more money. So, yeah, again, it's all a falsehood what Democrats are saying. Kash Patel tweeted this out. The FBI has been investigating the increase in violent activity toward Tesla over the last few days. We have taken additional steps to crack down and coordinate our response. This is domestic terrorism. Those responsible will be pursued, caught, and brought to justice. I like it. We've already got how many trannies in jail right now being charged with crimes? All these people that were shooting up Tesla dealerships in either Washington or Oregon area. These people, I always say we have a shirt that says "End Trans Terrorism," and that's what we need to do. Here's another one right here. Model Y vandalize. We cover this every day, twice a day, guys. Let's check out this guy. Like, really? Oh my gosh, look at that's not even a merce. That is a purse right there, folks. Oh, you almost feel bad for him. There's this Santa Fe. But hold on, we gotta get this one right here. That takes the cake so far, guys. That takes the cake. Elon Musk is mean to me. Check this one out. Recovered this one on Friday. In Wichita, Kansas, I call him the man boy in the pajama bottoms. Well, the car, Democrats keep saying, especially the Department of Education, he's taking funding from the disabled kids, always trying to go at the heartstrings, lie to you as much as they can, which it couldn't be further from the truth. Well, that Tesla that was actually vandalized was a disabled person. Check this out.
Now she says she feels targeted.
Damaging a personal vehicle does not affect Elon. If anything, it's giving him more money to fix the vehicle that you damaged. It's not damaging who you're thinking it is.
Just before 6 p.m. on Thursday, Abigail Gill and her family were seated for dinner at Olive Garden. Over an hour later, they left, and what they found waiting for them was shocking.
Quite a lot of damage. He keyed this side as well, which, as you can see, this side, it even looks like it affected above the tire. This is a lot more damage.
This comes less than a week after a possible arson at a Tesla dealership in Kansas City. Gill believes her brand new Tesla was targeted because of the current political climate and perception of Tesla CEO Elon Musk.
But it felt really disappointing that this is happening in such a great country, a great state. So for this to be happening in Kansas, of all places, is super shocking.
She says her family has had discussions around if it's even safe to be driving a Tesla anymore, in part because of incidents like hers. If she could send a message to the man who keyed her car, it's this.
You have put a very big crisis on me because physically I am in a wheelchair. I just hope that he definitely gets the correct punishment. I hope he pays all of the damages. It is well over $1,000, possibly over $10,000 of damage. I hope that the Wichita police continue to find him.
Gill tells me she contacted the Wichita Police Department almost immediately.
So I have a feeling that man boy will be caught. I don't think, let me see if there's any updates. These people are so sad. You know what? They would never step up to a man because they would get their teeth knocked out. Let's see. And here he is. He went twice, remember? He went by once with his hoodie on and once without his hoodie. But look at this. He's wearing pajama pants, like little kids' pajama pants, like Bluey or something. Or Lilo and Stitch. Like, I guarantee the dude is a pedophile groomer. Where's the other one? Should be another one when he walks back by the other side. How, I mean, with picture that clear, guys, come on. Somebody's got to find him. Again, he did both sides. He went back without his hoodie. I wonder why that one's not popping up right here. Let me see. Maybe it wasn't as good as pictures, so they're not sharing it out as much. But hopefully they catch that guy. Hopefully. Expose him, shame him. CNN. You can't make this up. Anything to like, maybe we shouldn't deport them. Maybe we shouldn't go after illegals. Listen to what they say.
And there seems to be some end up happening potentially is that undocumented migrants that largely obey the law are going to stop filing tax returns. And that's going to cause not just chaos and the government won't know where everybody is. It's going to cost billions of dollars in revenue. And there seems to be some inconsistency between the president's arguments that we're going after murderers and rapists and people who have been taken out of jails in
and we're going to
Central
talk about
America.
that later this hour. There's this kind of push into everyone who has a legal status.
So they're going to stop filing taxes. It's going to hurt us. You know what? They could stop filing taxes, but if they're gone, they'll save us probably a couple $100 billion a year with actually just in California alone, I think it's 9.5 trillion for illegal alien healthcare. That's just California. That don't include housing. That don't include schooling. That don't include SNAP. That don't include all these other benefits they're getting. So sorry, CNN. Deport, deport, deport. Check this out. This is great news. Who's this trader? I think you all know him. We covered him pretty extensively over the last few years. Well, it looks like President Trump has revoked the Secret Service protection from former DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. I think that's great. Guess what? He can get some illegals to protect him since he put those people ahead of American citizens. We went down to multiple locations, guys, where Mayorkas was, and he said the border wasn't open. And we just pan over to there, and there's a line of hundreds. This guy is honestly terrible. I made a comment the other day. There's certain people you want to see eating out of dumpsters, and I think eating out of dumpsters is too good for him. He purposely tried to do all this. Now check this out right here, you guys. I think we're almost done with the show. Let's see here. Oh, we got some other good stuff. Let me pull this up. Take a look at this one.
You hit me. Aggravated assault.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Bitch.
I know my rights.
You're ugly.
And you're called. Okay, I have this all in recording.
Go ahead.
I haven't called you
Put
any ill words.
I
haven't
care.
called you any ill words. I haven't offended you in any way.
You hit me on the sidewalk with your body.
Me.
You hit me.
Honey.
It's not honey anymore, bitch. It's not honey.
Right.
It's not honey, bitch.
We're just gonna patiently wait for the cops.
Yes, we are.
This is getting.
You're a hypocrite.
It's
you're
getting
a liberal
little bit
hypocrite.
more aggressive.
And you're a bitch. Yeah, I am aggressive. I have PTSD, bitch.
Okay.
You fucked with the wrong tranny today, bitch.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
That's what you should be doing. You should be deleting that fucking video.
I will not, because I feel.
I have a lawyer. I have 2 and 3 lawyers, honey. I will sue your pants off.
I'm not going to speak
bitch.
anymore. Okay?
I will sue your pants off.
I'm not speaking anymore.
Good.
We're going to patiently wait for the cops.
Another man jealous of a real woman.
I risk my life every day getting ready in the morning, and you have the temerity to hit me with your body.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but my hands are shaking because I have anxiety currently because of this individual is not leaving me alone.
You need therapy. And you know what? You'd be better off in the hood because the hood people, they know how to act.
Okay.
They know how.
So he's telling a black lady, you're better off in the hood. This is your typical Democrat. These are the people that Democrat supports. These are the people that, these are the people that were getting White House jobs under Biden, folks.
We treat each other. You went to Bard. You have a master's. You have an MBA.
I am currently starting to shake more because this individual would not leave me alone.
Fuck you!
So mental health, mental illness, it's a possessed demon. This guy is off his rocker again, and we shouldn't accept that. That is not acceptable. You can feel sorry for these people all you want. This is why women need to carry. This is why you need to defend yourself. You need to learn to defend yourself because these people are out of touch with reality. They are a couple flights short from the top, couple cards short of a full deck. And that's not some of them. That's every single one we've met. This is insane. I guarantee this dude's gonna be arrested for something at a Tesla dealership without a doubt. Check this out, guys. Americans are voting with their feet, fleeing blue states' tyranny for better run red states. This is the projected 2030 congressional reappropriation. Now, again, the reason why Democrats love illegals is because it gives them more seats, more representation. Nobody should represent an illegal. They should be deported. Let's get that clear. There should be, and I've said it a million times, there should be something for DACA. These people, and not the people on DACA that have lived off our system. I'm talking about the people we've educated, that's worked a hard life, that's done everything right, that were truly victims of their parents. Not anything after DACA, definitely not anything over the last 4 years. But listen to this, the congressional seats, this will blow away politics for a while. Minnesota to lose 1 seat, California to lose 4 seats, Wisconsin to lose 1 seat, Illinois to lose 1 seat, New York to lose 2 seats, and Pennsylvania to lose 1. The states that would be getting it is Arizona +1, Texas +4, Florida +4, North Carolina +1. And here it is right here on this Fox News map. And it was interesting because I seen this today and I had saved something over the weekend and forgot to tell you, or forgot to show you. I want you guys to listen to Bill Maher right here. He says it's over for the Democrat Party. Listen.
California is projected to lose 3 seats, New York 2, also going to lose a seat, Minnesota, Oregon, Rhode Island, Illinois, all blue states. Who's getting these? Texas, Florida, Idaho, and Utah. I mean, this looks like game over, you know, and the reason why people are voting with their feet is a lot of what your book is about.
Yeah.
Taxes and regulation. I certainly been screaming about it forever. I did 3 years with a sign here that said, how long is it going to take me to get my solar hooked up? 3 years. Talking about it on television in this state. You couldn't do it. This state has almost 400,000 regulations. I just put in a new roof because the fire, I thought, oh, let's get a roof that's not going to burn up. 2 inspections. Why are you inspecting my roof? It's my fucking roof. If it falls on me, that's my problem. And we're taxed more than any other state. People are leaving these kind of states for places where they're not, they feel the heavy breath of government on them. It's not that hard for Democrats to understand this, but they seem to be incapable of doing anything about it.
So we poll this. They're leaving on cost of living. That's all part of it. They're leaving because they can't afford homes. And it's a huge, not just political problem, those numbers you just gave. After 2030, if that holds, a Democrat could win every state Kamala Harris won, win Michigan, win Pennsylvania, and I'm just blanking on the third blue wall state, win Michigan, win Pennsylvania, and win Wisconsin, and lose the presidential election, right? The blue wall would no longer be enough for them to win. And you have to take that.
You mean they could win those 3 states and still
lose the presidential? That's how bad it is, right?
Wow.
And that's because they are driving people out, working class families out of the states they govern because the cost of living is too high. And the cost of living is too high in part for regulatory reasons, in part for taxes. But the big problem is they just don't have enough of the things people need. Not enough homes, not enough energy, not a government capable of delivering. And they've been treating that as not a real problem. You were talking about your solar sign. California high-speed rail, it's a huge disaster, but nobody's ever done anything about it. If you tried to build it again, it would go the exact same way.
High-speed rail?
Yeah, California's high-speed rail.
I think we first passed it in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just voted about something about it again. It's projected. Just give up. Just to build, I think, from Bakersfield to Merced. Who the hell wants to go from Bakersfield to Merced? And they couldn't do that.
I went out and toured.
How many times have we said that?
And the people building it were perfectly clear with me. Look, this doesn't work if we don't do LA to San Francisco. And they don't have the money to do LA to San Francisco. And they don't have the regulatory structure to do it. They have been clearing. They started clearing the rail track through environmental review. The whole point of high-speed rails is good for the environment.
Right.
They started clearing it through environmental review in 2012. by the end of 2024, when I was fact-checking the book, it was almost done. The reviews were almost done.
Yeah.
And the thing that bothers me about it, in addition to we didn't get high-speed rail, is they didn't change it, right? Okay, huge failure. Learn something. Make it so it won't happen again. The problem is that the right, we've just been talking about this, the personality type of the right is autocratic now. And the personality type of the left is bureaucratic. And you can't govern if you are this obsessed with process. And you can see it in the outcomes. If you want to sideline dangerous populist right autocratic movements, you got to offer people the fruits of effective government. If the places you govern are not advertisements for your governance, you are going to lose. Yeah.
And it's just depressing to live in a country where
isn't that crazy? And then
3 hours to get from.
I think Jalen was talking about Matt here. She said he needs a better bra for his moves. Man, Jalen, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Keep an eye out on any smoothies that Matt makes you. No, she was talking about, thank you for the Rumble rant, by the way. She was talking about, excuse me, the crazy that was being racist. This beautiful woman right here. I cannot believe we live in a time like this. Honestly, when I was growing up, this person would have been arrested and thrown in the loony bin where this person belongs. Enough playing games anymore, guys. There's the the left has preached tolerance that they can't adhere to. Again, it's time to take back our country. But that is it for the show today. Hey, guys, listen, we have some plans to do something this weekend. If you want to help out, Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. And if you want to use Zelle, we have a link on our website, theoreoexpress.com. That's theoreoexpress, one word, .com. And you'll see a donate now button. Matt says, at least I can step off curb. So can I, brother. So can I. I can do it so well, nobody even knows I trips with my tripod. Want to say thank you guys all for tuning in. I will be here with Caden tonight. If anything pops up, we'll find a way to go live from the Oreo Express studio. Once again, thank you all so much. Don't forget, it is springtime. Head over to mypillow.com. Use promo code Oreo. Get spring up your bedroom, your pillow topper mattress, your pillows. Go in there and get it. There is some really incredible deals. Again, mypillow.com and use promo code Oreo. God bless you all. Have a good evening. And again, we'll see if anything breaks off. You'll see us in a little while. If not, tune in tomorrow. God bless.